Hey. Let me fill you guys in. Let me fill you guys in on the details. I got the deets. Yeah, guys, totally same amount of work went into this car as the Sentinel or Galactus. That also had flickering lights and wiring and etc. Same amount of work went into this car as those 9 pounds, 2 feet tall, heavily articulated action figures. Yeah, this car, yeah guys, totally same amount of work, same amount of effort, engineering. Doors open, trunk opens. Nowhere near 9 pounds, but same exact amount of work, guys. I understand it's not an action figure. You can't pose it, you can't move it like that, but you can open the doors. It has a top, bottom, and middle. Don't you guys agree? Yes, exactly, guys. The question isn't if it's worth the actual price. It's if it's worth the price to you. So let me clear this up from the door. You guys seen the thumbnail, you seen the title, you clicked the video. I'm not saying anything that Boog Nice did was laughable. I think he did a great interview. He tried to get as many questions in as he possibly could within a short amount of time. What I'm saying is actually laughable is some of the answers that they gave him. How many times they tried to redirect, they tried to flip a question back onto him, or they tried to, all that shit was laughable, straight laughable. But let's get into that. I do want you to guys go to his page and check out the video. I'm only going to speak on just a few of the answers that they gave him because he asked them a ton of questions in a short amount of time. Do I believe he could have been more direct, more aggressive? Sure, but that's not what he wasn't there to debate with them. He's back in the project, so that's not what he's there for. So it was an interview. He's just supposed to ask them questions and accept their answers, not try to change their mind, not try to debate with them. So nothing, I don't think anything he did was laughable, but go to his page, check out the full interview, because what I'm speaking about here is basically nothing compared to all the questions and the answers that they actually gave him. And it's a part of fair use. It's just a reaction video. It's just me sharing my thoughts the same way people have taken clips from me and shared their thoughts, or they've reacted to something that I said or did. It's fine. So the first question, one of the main ones obviously, is Boog asks them how can they justify the $350 price tag on this item. Here is the response.
$50 price tag. Yeah, absolutely. When we created the last two Haslabs, the Sentinel and Galactus, all the expense was on the outside. It was building something up, right? This has the same amount of effort and work. It's just a car. And what that means is there's a lot of stuff that goes on the inside. It has a bottom, it has a middle, it has a top, it has windows, it has mirrors. It has lots of little things all over it.
I can't. I literally can't. They literally, oh shit. He literally said, it has a bottom, it has a middle, it has a top. He literally said the car took just as much work and effort as the Sentinel or Galactus. Guys, what are we debating about? Like, what the I thought like my channel was for adult collectors. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was talking to adults that can ration, use reason and logic. How is someone telling you that that car is just as much work and effort as Galactus or the Sentinel? And these Hasbros, you guys eat it up and just, yep. You sound like the birds from Finding Nemo. Yes. Imagine if someone was advertising a $350 action figure to you guys. Oh wait, they did, the Sentinel. But imagine again if someone was advertising a $350 action figure to you guys and they said, yeah, there's a lot going on here. It has arms, it has legs, it has a head. That's no different than them doing it with a car and saying it has a top, a bottom, and a middle. But the crazy thing about it is I think the car looks beautiful, man. And I want the people that want it to actually get it. But me, like I said, this is just my opinion. I can't support it. I can't back it. Anyways, let's move on.
So, and this one has the most premium electronics package we've ever done in Marvel.
They called flickering lights a premium electronics package. The Sentinel had flickering lights, guys, but it wasn't as premium. Maybe they weren't as bright, they weren't LEDs, but it just wasn't as premium. Even though the Sentinel had lights as well, it just still wasn't as premium, man. So I can't debate with them on that. These lights are probably way more premium. That's probably a true statement. Okay.
And like the meme is, right, like yesterday's price is not the same as today's price, right?
Of course, leave it to the little gangster Dan to bring up a meme. you know, and some straight up direct ass meme. That's funny. Yeah, I agree. Yesterday's price is not today's price, and yesterday's blind consumer is not today's blind consumer. So the same way attitudes over there might be yesterday's price is not today's price, I hope you guys realized yesterday's blind consumer is not today's blind consumer. I don't know anybody that's saying I'm buying more Marvel Legends nowadays. Every single person I know is 10 times more selective than they used to be. Yesterday is not today. I agree. Yesterday's content creators that used to bow down to you guys and stay silent or just eat shit quietly, that's not today's content creators. So you're going to get more criticism. You're going to get more questions. You're going to deal with that today. So yeah, I hope you guys realize just as much as you want us to realize that yesterday's price is not today's price, that today's content creators in this community is not as submissive and not as passive and quiet as yesterday's content creators.
Comparisons to other things that are not in this premium 6 to 7 inch scale, I think the competitive set for this are things like the Party Wagon, the His Tank, the Thunder Tank, things like that, not some other type of doll cars or a radio control car from 5 years ago, right?
He said it's not a comparative comparison to do a doll car or a remote control car from 5 years ago. Yo, shout out to the 3POA podcast, Analog Toys, Laser Pants, and Valorverse Bobby Valor that put that Bratz doll car really on the map. And shout out to me for putting the Batmobile really on the map. But then again, not shout out to me because I'm not saying that I'm the first one that did it. So shout out to anybody that did it. I'm sure there could have been people that did it before me. But shout out to you guys. I appreciate it. And I can't wait. He's saying, oh, that's not comparative. I can't wait. McFarlane's going to have more Batmobiles coming out. I cannot wait. Valorverse is going to be dropping theirs. There's quite a few companies that I'm already seeing now step up to the plate with cars, available cars for the public. 10 times smaller companies that don't get as good MOQs. MOQs is minimum order quantity, guys. So their MOQs are nowhere near as good as Hasbro because Haslab, you know, they're ordering a ton amount. So they're getting the best rates. But the smaller companies are not. And I'm seeing a bunch of companies that are rising up now and starting to make vehicles that are way better priced than this. And they're in the same economy that we all are in, that Haslab is in. They also brought up as one of their answers that Marvel Legends all across the board has had price increases within the last few years because of everything going on. Okay, I get it, but it doesn't mean that any of those price increases are actually justifiable, especially with McFarlane and all these other companies doing things, giving us just as much plastic for a lower price. And I say all the time, I don't mind paying more as long as we get a little bit more. So you got a ton of other companies, unlike Haslab, that isn't the biggest toy company in the world. So their MOQ rates are more expensive. And they're still giving us similar price items or even lower price items with similar quality. That's a problem. Now, you can blame it on the shareholders. You can blame it on that stuff if you want to, but it doesn't matter whose fault it falls on. It's wrong. And I'm not saying it's these guys. It's the pencil pushers. It's the people at corporate. It's their fault. So it's not the Marvel Legends team. That's why I don't throw shade directly at them. I feel bad for them. There's their livelihood and they get laughed at literally because they have to do what they have to do. But the pencil pushers make it completely hard for them. And at the end of the day, it's just greed. This is just price gouging from a figure to this Haslab. That's all it is. And then funny shit, because they were in a hot seat for so long and Boog was just machine gunning tough questions to them. Dwight tried to flip it back on Boog to try to get Boog to vouch for the product, and nobody's surprised there. Boog's backing this. Marvel Legends is like his golden baby. He tries not to say anything really directly wrong with the line, even when there's so much shit directly wrong with the line. So nobody's surprised there, and it's just so crazy to me that they flipped the question on Boog, or they tried to get him to even vouch and say how good this thing looks. They literally tried that.
What's your opinion from seeing it today versus what your interpretation was from the event?
Well, honestly, I expected it to look good in person anyway. Me personally, I've been on board from the beginning. I haven't jumped ship, so it looks as good as I thought it would look. It's better than I thought it would look, honestly. The jury's still out on whether or not I believe that it's worth everything. I guess I've got to wait till we see everything, and I think that's where a lot of collectors are as far as seeing the full package.
So they tried to flip the question back on Boog to get him to vouch for this project more than he already has. But I brought that up because I do think he did, for someone that doesn't want to say anything inherently bad about the company or go against the company, he did not keep it 100% positive. And he did bring up a good point that I see a lot of collectors do, which is we want to see the full package. That logic is funny, and I see a lot of people with this logic, so this isn't just to Boog. But the full package was the car. If no tier unlocks and the full package is what you get with no tier unlocks, they felt like that price was justifiable. That's the full package. So you guys seen the full package already. Anything else is extra. I said it before in my other video. If you need the tiers and all the free stuff to make it valuable, then that means the initial offering really wasn't that valuable. Majority of people did not have to wait to see the full package on a lot of other Haslabs because they felt like the original offering was that valuable. Whether it was the His Tank, Sentinel, Galactus, whatever. There's a lot of cases where people don't have to wait to see the full package because they feel like they're getting their value with just the initial offering. So all you people that are saying, I need to see, you guys saw the full package already. You saw it. So what you mean to say is you want to see if they pivot and scramble some more and throw in some free stuff the same way they threw in Robbie Reyes' head, his human form head, which should have been included in the first place, especially during Hispanic History Month. But they can pivot and say, oh, they had no idea that it was Hispanic, any type of Hispanic celebration or Hispanic History Month. But it was just purely coincidental that you dropped the first Hispanic Haslab crowdfunding character during that month. Yeah, sure. Pure coincidental. Pure coincidental. And if it is coincidental, then it just shows how unaware you are of what's going on in the world outside of your price inflations. His whole human head, his whole human form, minimum, the head should have been included in the first place. How do you have a powered down version of the car but don't give a powered down version of the character? Geniuses. They worked so hard for months to have to pivot and fix so much now and just offer renderings now and do stuff like that now to hide the normal version behind a greedy ass paywall or incentive, early backer incentive. Great job. But yeah, let me get back to the point. Anybody that says they're still waiting to see the full package, for the most part, I think that they're just waiting to see if they throw in any free stuff because it'll increase the value, because low-key a lot of people do know that the value is not there. And saying you waiting to see the full package doesn't make a lot of sense because you already seen the full packaging. And they further explained it in this interview that I urge you guys to go watch. He further explains to Boog that no, all the figures and stuff, and that was not a part of the original asking price, which was hilarious, just digging a deeper hole for themselves. But yeah, he explained that in the interview. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on. I believe this is Ryan. He went back to Boog's question because I guess it was still heavy on his heart. Boog's question as far as, is it worth the asking price? He went back to Boog's question because I guess he wanted to address it some more. Let's hear what he said about it.
I do not. It's this heavy.
So that question you touched on is big in the community. Is this worth the price tag? I think the way to look at it is for each consumer, do I want to get it for this amount of money? Like the costing, it is what it is. If we could have made it cheaper, we would have. It is not our goal to put months and months of effort from many people to put something at a level that we knew was unsustainable from the start, because we are not trying to set ourselves up for failure. So that's I think a question that each individual consumer is free to answer on their own, and to each their own, right? There's plenty of offerings out there. We're going to continue making Marvel Legends, but I just get a little bit out of shape when it's like everyone's arguing over what's it worth. What's it worth to you? That's the question, not like how we make it, right? Like that's.
He said, I just get a little bit bent out of shape when people are arguing, asking what's it actually worth, when he said what you need to ask is what it's worth to you. Hilarious, man. Imagine you guys go to buy a house and you're walking around the house with the real estate agent and you ask them what's the square footage as far as price is concerned. You ask them what's the asking price of the house and they look at you and they say, well, what's it worth to you? That's literally his logic right here. Oh, man. He said if they could have made it cheaper, they would have. I agree with that. Like, I see that, yeah. But they're a company. I understand profit. I understand they gotta make a killing. I get it. They gotta be worth it. It gotta make sense. If it don't make money, it don't make sense. I understand that. But to me, price gouging is price gouging, and that's all I see here. They can blame it on the shareholders. They can blame it on whoever they want to. But that's clearly, to me, what's happening here. But the fact that he sums it up to don't ask as far as cost is concerned if it's actually worth it. Ask if it's worth it to you. Hilarious to me, man. That is funny because, yeah, as far as cost is concerned, as far as that original package, that original offering, yeah, we all know it's not worth it for the most part. And this is my opinion backed up by other experts, evidence, and that's just my opinion. But who says that, dude? Like I said, imagine going to buy a house and imagine going to buy a car and they say, what's it worth to you? Don't ask. Don't compare it to other cars that have been purchased within the last year or so. Don't do that. Don't compare it to other cars that have more parts, more pieces. Don't do that when you go buy a car. Just ask yourself, what are you willing to pay for it? That's what it's worth. I get it. That's the business model. These are luxury items. These are not needs. These action figures, these are wants. I understand that. So these companies are going to charge you whatever price they feel like you're willing to pay for it, because these are not needed. They're not going to get a fine. Remember when COVID happened and everybody was like, you know, sellers actually started to get fined for selling little bottles of hand sanitizer for $50? Yeah, that's not going to happen with action figures, because it's not a need, it's a want. And this is what I'm trying to explain to other content creators and other consumers, which is, dude, the more you give them what they want, the less they're going to give us what we want. This is basic fucking business. How do you guys not understand this? Not everybody. I'm talking about the people that come at me. How do they not understand this? I don't know. And once again, it's a nice car, and I feel bad for my associates and my friends that actually do want the car, and they're not going to be able to get it because Hasbro's delivery on this was so poor, from the price to having to quote unquote pivot so much and take away stuff, then throw in stuff. And yeah, this definitely seems like so many months of hard work and planning. This is hilarious. And I feel bad that people are not going to be able to get it. But I don't think it's because of me or other influencers or other content creators, because I don't back that logic of, if you have nothing nice to say about it, then don't say nothing at all. Why? So you can only speak on it if you have something nice to say about it? That's funny. Either buy it or be quiet. No, I don't have to be quiet. The same way you don't have to be quiet if you love it so much. But I want to bring it back to the original answer that they gave Boog that made me laugh the most for the outro of this video. Let's just hear this one more time. Hilarious.
The Sentinel and Galactus, all the expense was on the outside. It was building something up, right? This has the same amount of effort and work. It's just a car. And what that means is there's a lot of stuff that goes on the inside. It has a bottom, it has a middle, it has a top, it has windows, it has mirrors. It has lots of little things all over it.
It's amazing to me, the ridiculous stuff that comes out of these guys' mouths sometimes. And their audience says nothing but yes. But I get it, man. I'm not even hating. I want to get to the point where I can have a product that I put out that's clearly less pieces, clearly less work, clearly less value. And I tell them, no, this is the same exact value as something else that I put out. And they will just agree. I would love to be sitting pretty like that too, with a product or a franchise or whatever. But I get everybody's not content creators. So how do you guys feel about this interview? I urge you to go check it out. If you didn't see the interview, how do you feel about these few clips? Let me know what you think about the stuff that they said. It's okay if you want to buy this product. Like I said, I think it looks nice. I just don't want to participate and add to them increasing prices just nonstop, further and further, more and more and more. I don't want to contribute to that more than I already have, because in the past I have contributed to it. I am a contributing factor as to how things got this bad. I'm just at the point where I'm saying enough's enough. I'm super selective on anything Marvel Legends that I buy. If I was buying 10 figures a year, I'm literally buying 2 or 3 now. It's just a comparison, but just some over dramatization. But you get what I'm saying. Just super, super selective, because I'm tired of, as Retro would say, feeding the beast. It's gotten to the point where it's ridiculous. And I wish more people and more content creators would see that how ridiculous things are getting. And the more that we just give in and say yes to whatever price they're asking for, the more they're going to give us less. If it's crazy to me that people actually believe that the biggest toy company in the world, billion-dollar company, is pricing things at a fair price to them. It's hilarious to me. That is funny in itself. Haslab, who has been reporting some record profit highs and laying off people left and right, and will continue to lay off more, and still having record profit breaking highs. You guys, them, Haslab, no way, man. They're not pushing the boundaries. They're not trying to get us for all we've got and squeeze us out of every possible thing that they can squeeze out of us. They're not doing that, man. They care about us. I'm a content creator, man. They're my friends. Yeah, they're not price gouging us. They're not overcharging for stuff. They're not giving us less for more. No way, not those guys. Plus, they wanted to help save the environment from unnecessary plastic waste. So they took the plastic off the box because they cared so much, while I still buy a product made of all plastic. These guys care, man. No, they're even spending less on packaging now, while they continue to increase the price without supposedly being able to increase the value of the product. Come on, guys. Wake up before the US is in the same position as a lot of other countries where a standard figure is $50, $60, $70, or $80. Wake up.
They've lost their fucking mind.
Yes. If you you feel the same in life, subscribe and stick around for action figures. G.I. Joe, classified, Marvel Legends on my mind, Valorverse and NECA time, Mythic Legions I must find.